Following his loss to Islam Makhachev at UFC 302, Dustin Poirier said he wasn't sure if he was retiring or not. It looks like Dustin has made that decision. On X last night, Dustin posted this. He wrote, "Hey Conor McGregor, it felt so nice I did it twice, you bumski." He followed up with this. He wrote, "If Arman can't fight, let's go again." And he added Islam Makhachev. He continued Uno Mas and ended it off with the last dance. Let him know. Dana White admits that he didn't think Alex Pereira would do very well in the UFC when he initially signed. Dana also says that he actually scored Ian Garry versus MVP as a draw.
Aside from Conor, like the last time he fought, Alex Pereira and Diego Lopez weren't even on the UFC roster. So when you signed Alex and you had Diego kind of step in on short notice, did you know what you were getting with those guys? Because since then, they've become two of the most reliable and popular fighters on the entire roster.
It's incredible, right? I mean, no, I don't think like that, especially when you have a guy that's coming in from kickboxing, you know, has this long kickboxing career and is older coming into the UFC. I think the exact opposite. This guy's not going to do very well here. He's going to get taken down, smashed, submitted, you know, all that kind of stuff. But, man, was I wrong. Sean and Mick felt that that fight would play out exactly the way it did. We talked about leading up to this fight. I had that fight a draw. Yeah. I mean, if they came out and said that fight was a draw, that's exactly what I thought that fight was, too. Obviously, Ian won the first round. MVP won the second round, and it was 50-50 in the third round. You know what I mean? What was crazy was MVP had that top position, and he gave it up. He could have just rode that thing out and won the round.
Ian Garry is not happy over the fact that he didn't finish MVP by submission in that first round. Ian believes he got MVP frustrated. He says that he's interested in fighting Shavkat Rakhmonov next.
Look, I'm going to have a chat with Hunter and Dana later on and figure out what's next. There's some big names, there's some cool matchups. You know, there's Shavkat, 18-0, undefeated. I'd love to get my hands on him. I've trained with him. I have nothing but respect for the guy, but I want to be the first guy to take his own. I know I can do it. I've just beat the fastest guy in the division other than me. When it comes to striking and skill, so I can do it. When it comes to grappling, we've seen the growth that I have. I'm excited to go out there and prove it against someone like him.
Now that you are actually through Michael Venom Page, what are the emotions now?
I'm pissed I didn't land that submission in the first round. I am. I'm livid. But you know what? I showed so much evolution today. I frustrated. Like, I snake charmed a snake charmer in my mind. I made him frustrated. He likes people to do that dance to him, to move, to keep that flow, that rhythm, and he works well off that rhythm, that timing. I hit him with stealth mode. I walked him down, I prayed him. You know, he didn't have a lot of success. I didn't have a lot of success on the feet. I wobbled him in the second round with a right hand. I seen his eyes go, and I was like, patience. I've been saying all week, I said it to Damon, I said it to Diego, I said it to everyone on my team. The key to beating Michael Venom Page was patience. Because he will give me the gaps and he will make the mistakes because I will make them. I will make him make the mistakes.
Shavkat fired back at Ian. On X, Shavkat reposted the interview. He wrote, "Looks like Ian forgot what happened during those training sessions. I don't mind reminding him in the future." Kamaru, Usman, and Henry Cejudo both understand why Conor McGregor pulled out of UFC 303. They actually say that it was the smart move for Conor.
We finally got answers to why Mr. Conor McGregor had to pull out of the fight. But it is what it is. He said it himself. You know, he wants to be as close to 100% as possible, and that foot injury, you know, was kind of taking him off from doing that. It was gonna hurt his performance, so he did not want to go in there anymore. And Henry, it made sense. When you're not fighting just to survive, you're not fighting for money, you're not fighting for all these things, you want to put out the best possible performance in the world, then hey, you know, you don't want to go in there hurt, you're not going to go in there hurt. You got the, you know, you have the option to be able to do that, and that's why the fight was pushed.
Yeah, yeah, of course, man. I think that's smart on his side. No, my foot was a balloon. My foot was a balloon. Like, that's that comes to what I'm thinking about this. But I will say this: if Conor's serious about fighting, dude, like I truly do believe, and I think even the antics of him being at the club, like he did that on purpose too, and he probably was drinking and having a good time.
The art of war.
Speculation means that that this guy could be potentially fighting at the Sphere. You know, Dana White's talking about making this event the biggest event in combat sports history. Throw in Conor McGregor. Throw in Conor McGregor, but make the Conor McGregor a co-main event fight, and allow the championship fight of a guy like Ilia Topuria and Max Holloway actually main evented. I think that makes sense. They talked about it. Am I crazy, Kamaru Usman?
Yeah, you are crazy. Let's say Mike Tyson is not the champion. He's not fighting for the belt, but he's on a card. Are you telling me you're going to make Mike Tyson a co-main event? No, you're not. You're not. You're not. And I'm not comparing them. But Conor McGregor has earned that with everything that he's brought to the sport, with everything that he has, the mystique. Conor McGregor has earned the right to be, because, hey, he's selling the pay-per-view.
Colby Covington was not impressed with Ian Garry's performance at UFC 303. Colby thinks Michael Venom Page won and says Ian is a bum. Speaking to Submission Radio, Colby said he's fighting cans from the Indian casino leagues. Oh, big deal. Anybody could be 15-0 fighting a bunch of bums. Even Dana White himself said what he thought of the performance. He thought it was a draw. He didn't think there should have been a winner. I feel bad for the fans. The fans got robbed of a pay-per-view opener that's supposed to be the opener for pay-per-view. That was pathetic. That guy's fighting the number 14 guy in the world and barely scraping by. I think he lost the fight, so I feel bad for the fans. They got robbed, but it just shows how much of a bum he is. He was willing to do whatever he could to be on the Conor McGregor card because his name is Conor McGregor. He's the Conor McGregor wannabe. He did all this, pulled all these strings to get on the card, and then Conor left him at the altar. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought he was a star. I thought Ian Garry was a big name. What happened? They had their UFC 303 co-main events fall through like 6 or 7 times. There was a guy that was already on the card. Why couldn't he get bumped up to the co-main event? I guess that shows us what the UFC thinks about the guy, that the guy's an absolute nobody. He's a bum, and he has no reason to talk about anything. After all the talk about Alex Pereira moving up to heavyweight, fans have been waiting to hear Jon Jones' take on the matter. Today, Jon hinted that he may not retire after Stipe because of the options of potential opponents. Jon responded to this post on X. Says, "You retiring after Stipe?" Jon replied, "Honestly, it's hard to say right now. I'm going to base a lot of that on my next performance. The options are looking crazy right now." Now, Alex spoke on a potential fight with Jon back at UFC 301 during a fan Q&A. Alex said, "After my last fight, I said I wanted to fight at heavyweight, but had no answer, so I kind of forgot it, and my plans have changed. But there was a message from Jon Jones last fight, so I don't know if this might change. Becoming a 3-division champion is very hard, and not many people try it. But if I have the opportunity, I just want to bring joy to everyone and a better life for my family." Who do you guys think would win between Alex and Jon at heavyweight? Post your takes in the comments. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one says the difference between Yuri and Jamal. Yuri realizes that he needs to improve, and Hill is busy making excuses. The second one's from Chris M. It says 3 minutes of Ian Garry? Dude, what the f is wrong with you? My bad. And the final one's from Peter Griffin. It says Ian Garry went full Marab after the first punch he received from MVP. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.